for subject now, Assessment of Learning 1. We are now in Lesson 7. Topic to be covered for today's performance-based assessment. And that is my complete name, my credentials in Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Business. And we're going to start by rolling out the topics we covered for today. Yan, we have the definition of performance assessment, diverse format. We have the learning outcomes for performance, designing performance tasks, the rubrics to be used, scoring tools, and implementing the performance-based assessment. And with the topics are also the learning outcomes at the end of the performance-based lesson. Students, you guys now will be able to do the following. So, outcome-based education, we always roll out the learning outcomes, or not the objectives, but we are focused on the outcome na pwedeng mangyari, pwedeng gawin ng ating mga students, the learners. I have here the four learning outcomes, and I will take responsible for this one. Straight practical skills, apply concepts, produce quality outputs, and exhibit critical and creative thinking and planning, executing and improving the performance of the students. Ito yung ating mga target. Hopefully, all of you guys can do the following. Or sa mga students nyo later on, always have the learning outcomes. Kasi dito natin ina-anchor, dito natin ina-assess mga estudyante natin. If they can do the following outcomes. Okay, and yun nga, no, yung ating topic now for the past few meetings, we have been talking about assessment. We already talked about the assessment for objective type, the multiple choice, the true or false. And last time we talked about the subjective type, the essay, the short answers ng mga students. And ngayon naman ay mga performance, hindi lang pen and paper assessment ang ginagawa natin. Kasi because as for learner, di ba, may mga learners na visual, learners that are logical, good in math, good in oral, at meron mga estudyante na magaling sa performing. So that is why some of your students can be good at mathematics, can be good at English, some are good in physical education. And mga estudyante tayo later on na they love performing, they love acting, they love singing, dancing. Mas gusto mga estudyante tuwang-tuwa pag sila sumasali sa mga cheering squad, dance group. PE, nihintay nila ng mga physical education subjects, or pagsakali man mga NSTP subjects. May mga motor skills sila. They have psychomotor skills aside from having the visual and oral and logical skills. Yan natin mga ina-assess. So today, we're going to talk about the performance-based assessment So we're going to shorten pag sinabi natin PBA, that is the performance-based assessment. You should understand the importance. Yan. So we are evaluating the students through demonstrations of skills, dancing, cooking. I can recall yung high school kami, meron kami practical arts na subjects. May mga classmates akong magaling pagdating sa practical arts. Ang gumagawa ng mga projects, gumagawa ng upuan, gumagawa ng tools, mechanical to. I can recall, gumawa kami ng yung lagaring bakal. High school. Gumawa kami ng dustpan. Gumawa kami ng driver's seat. So, may mga magaling dyan, mga practical. So, the subject was practical arts. May mga classmates ako magaling sa hindi masyadong magaling sa English, sa math, pero pagdating doon sa paggawa, sa workshop, doon sila magaling. Doon sila nag-excel. Yan. So, PBA emphasizes deeper understanding and application. So, pag tingin natin sa ating Bloom's Taxonomy, diba, ang pinakamababang level ng Bloom's Taxonomy is the understanding, remembering, as merong application. Bandang gitna application sa Bloom's Taxonomy, diba? Application. Ito yung we are now using the knowledge, applying the knowledge, the skills sa actual experience, actual relevant learning experience. Ayan, mga task na real world context. We should demonstrate pag sa university. Ito yung the students, for example, mga nursing students are being required to have return demo. Sabihin, pag tinuro ng clinical instructor yung isang skill, example, mouth-to-mouth, automatic resuscitation, pagkuha ng BP, yung mga estudyante, they will now be required to return the demo. Return demo. Pag tinuro sa kanila, so, ulitin nila. Yung skills sa tinuro sa kanila ng clinical instructor. Yan, return demo yun. So, ito yung mga skills na dapat magtunan. Depende sa program. Of course, pag mga business students, they will be required, for example, how to conduct interview, pag may English, English subjects, yan, mag-speech sa gitna. Sabi ko dating NSTP, I required my students to memorize yung preamble ng Constitution. Mga estudyanteng magaling sa English, magaling sa math, pero pagdating sa reciting, pag-recite ng preamble sa gitna, nahihiya sila. Meron mga estudyante hindi masyadong magaling sa ibang subject, pero pagdating doon sa pag-recite ng preamble sa gitna, very fluent, with action. Yung lakas ang self-confidence. Ayan na. So, mas engage sila din sa skills. So, moving on, diverse format of performance-based assessment. Pag sa mga high school students, ayan, mga college students, mga senior high school students ko, pinapagawa ko portfolio. They will collate all their lessons from day 1 up to the last day. Parang kinokolate nila mga activities nila, then they will and also presentation, di ba? So, kaya nga, pag mga learners natin, it is good that we will require them to reporting. Sa reporting kasi, Marami kang makikita nga na dyan skills ng estudyante, no? Example, pag-research ng topic, paggawa ng PowerPoint, pag-present in front of the class, online or face-to-face, then answering questions from the classmates. Pwede yung projects, no? May mga subjects tayong we can require them to have projects. Example, mayroon akong subject na innovation management wherein I required my students to present, to come out with a innovative product, innovative poster. Yan. So, gusto nila yon. Kasi dito nila nalalabas yung mga skills nila. These are the opportunities to demonstrate yung kanilang mga skills. Yan. And sometimes, I require them to have, example, the subject is research. And I will ask them to conduct an actual interview sa mga respondents. At siyempre sa research, meron din interview, may part yung research na they will distribute the questionnaires. Ayan. It's a real world experience. No? I will ask them to go to the mall and ask the store owners about the operation of their business. So, interview. And of course, they will get the skills na hindi lang theoretical, but they will have a hands-on experience by interviewing those store owners, no? That's mga malls. Challenges, benefits. Honestly, the benefits, deeper learning. Kasi application-based to, no? Hindi lang to remembering, hindi lang to knowledge, hindi lang pagkabisado, hindi lang pag-memorize, but performance. Based assessment promotes deeper learning by engaging. So ganda yung engage dun sa task. Authentic to kasi real world experience ang ating pinapagawa na sa kanila. Pag-apply ng knowledge, example, interviewing. No? Bago ko inisalang sa interview, siyempre may lesson muna kami about how to conduct the interview. Example, paggawa ng questions, paggawa ng mga standardized questions, pagtanong sa kanila, the etiquette in asking questions, ginagamit na nila. And before I have this subject, NSDP. So, tinuruan ko sila kung paano pag-rescue ng mga victims ng isang accident. Theoretical, for example, paano pag-carry, proper carry of the victim na hindi ma-aggravate yung mga injury. Sa libro yun, no? Then pagdating sa camping, maybe I brought them in a campsite, sa mga pakiling. Doon siya tinuruan actual pag-rescue ng mga victims. May mga, you will discover, may mga natatakot, may mga mabagal, mayroon mga mabilis. Kasi actual scenario yun no? And siyempre, that is why I love camping, assessment. Sa camping kasi, malalaman mo doon organizational skills ng mga estudyante. Tinuturo natin organization, management. Pagdating doon sa camping, example, pag-ayos ka ng mga higaan, pag-ayos ka ng mga tent, pagsunod sa mga orders ng mga leaders nila, yan. Now, the challenge, time-intensive grading compared to just checking a multiple choice, just checking an essay. Mas matagal, of course, pag performance, no? Kasi pag may performance sila, example, 5 minutes. Isang estudyante will perform 5 minutes. One group will perform in 10 minutes. It will require more time. Kasi we can assess na hindi natin nakikita. Ang performance, hindi lang ito segundo. It will take us like minutes before we can assess them sa mga performance. time-intensive ang grading. Kaya evaluation, meron na gagamitin mga rubrics dito. Kasi subjective din to, no? It's not a multiple choice but subjective. Time-consuming, subjective, ang evaluation medyo matagal. Plus, resource demanding. Your time, your effort. Pagkain sa food, no? Kasi, pag sinabi natin camping, you want to check the skills of the students in rescuing a example sa first aid. It is TP. We're going to teach the students how to rescue a drowning victim. Nagamit ka ng swimming pool, for example, to test kanyang skills na matagal. We'll rent out a swimming pool, test the rescue skills ng isang estudyante. So, on the part of the educator, that is time-consuming, objective evaluation, medyo matagal, plus the resources. Kasi, for example, you'll be going to rent out a venue, no? Sa mga PE instructor, na example, walang gym yung school, and you want to test these skills mo, estudyante, example, nagtuturo, for example, ng PE badminton. Walang badminton court sa school. Mag-rent kayo. Tulad ng isang university ba dati, no? Isang branch namin. Walang PE venue sa loob ng building. So, ang ginagawa namin, nag-rent out kami ng isang court, 8 per oras, example, 100 per oras. Isang basketball court. Tapos, sunod naman, badminton. Walang badminton. So, mag-rent out ka ng badminton court. Per oras na naman yan. So, resource demanding for the disadvantage. Okay, so significance. So, after introducing the assessment, performance-based, important yung pag-draft ng learning outcomes. Kasi dito natin ina-anchor, dito natin ang learning outcome, ito yung tinatest natin, hinahanap natin sa estudyante natin. Pag sila magpe-perform. Important, how are you going to draft the learning outcomes ng isang subject, ng isang topic, for example. So, this one is needed, essential as they provide direction. Ang learning outcome, ito hinahanap natin sa estudyante natin. If we're going to assess them, ito hinahanap natin, mga learning outcomes. Ito yung pinaka-nag-guide sa atin. Kung anong skills ating iti-test, check sa kanila. So, from last time, from previous lesson, we should align the learning outcomes doon sa topic. Yung assessment tool na ginagamit natin should be aligned doon sa learning outcomes. For example, ang learning outcomes mo, example, the students after the lesson, the students should know how to demonstrate rescue skills, should know how to demonstrate CPR, for example. Yun ang outcome. And how are you going to assess? Siyempre, assess mo dito, magde-demo sila. Para malaman mo na they are capable of doing the rescue swimming, for example, or the CPR. So that merong alignment dun sa outcome, no? Yung ginagawa nating assessment. And the outcome should also be aligned dun sa ating mga topics na i-cover sa isang lesson. Assessment, clear alignment between learning outcomes and the activities and the assessment na gagawin is crucial for ensuring fairness and validity. So hindi tayo nag-assess ng sarili lang natin. Lahat ay pare-parehas ng assessment na gagawin. Equitable evaluation para sa lahat ng estudyante natin. Walang hindi pwedeng isa yung nakita natin ay medyo weak or medyo hindi kaya, hindi natin pwedeng baguhin, di ba? Yung assessment para sa kanya. Kaya nga sa mga PE classes, tinatanong nila, no? Or sa mga team building, for example, di ba? Tinatanong natin, sino ang hindi kayang sumali sa mga physical activities? Ayan. Para yan siya sasali. Ibig sabihin, pag lahat tayo sumali, ibig sabihin doon, nasala na natin ang pwedeng sumali. Para equal, standardize yung ating gagawing assessment para sa kanila. Lahat ay pwedeng sumali. So, dapat naka-align. Huwag tayong magbigay ng assessment na wala namang siyang mini-measure na learning outcomes. Kaya nga, assessment natin ay naka-anchor, naka-align sa ating mga learning outcomes. Knowledge, skills, and attitude. For example, by the way, no, we're going to reiterate na pag sinabi natin mga learning outcomes, itong tatlong to ating hinahanap sa mga estudyante natin. Yung knowledge, pag-memorize yung example, pag-remembering, di ba? If you can imagine yung ating Bloom's taxonomy, pyramid siya, di ba? Pinakamababa nun, remembering, knowledge, no? Then, yung skills din, example, yung ating skills in applying, skills in evaluating, skills in creating. At huwag natin kalimutan na sa ating learning outcomes, ay meron tayong minimization sa kanilang attitude. Sa minimization natin ng learning outcomes are knowledge, skills, and attitudes. For example, sa knowledge natin, yan, pag-acquire information, pag-memorize, can they list down, for example, can they remember the theories, the principle, for example, sa performance-based assessment, what are the different types of carrying the victims ng isang accident. Pag sa PE naman, di ba, what are the different types of observing the shuttlecock sa badminton, for example. And sa mga skills naman, it focus on the abilities to perform, pag-apply, pag-evaluate, pag-demonstrate ng mga techniques ng ating mga learners. Example, they know the different types of dance. Knowledge yun. Pagdating sa skills, can they demonstrate the different types of dance? So dapat measure din natin yun. O the different types of serving. Example, sa volleyball, you know. Different types of rescuing the victims. Pag sa interview naman, example, no, knowledge, they know the different types of gathering data. They know the interview, they know this survey, they know the focus group discussion, they know the observation. Pagdating sa skills, can they do the focus group discussion, can they do the interview, and they do the survey questionnaire. And don't forget the attitude sa mga learning outcomes sa ating mga estudyante. The values and belief, example, they know the different types of interview, knowledge. They know how to conduct the interview, skills. Sa values naman, do they know the ethics in research? Do they know the ethics in interviewing, the ethics in surveying, sa attitudes and beliefs that they should adopt? Fostering motivation and commitment to learning, which influence their approach. So lahat ng mga subjects, no, may attitude, may skills, may knowledge na learning outcomes na dapat meron sila. Ito yung mga laman ng mga mga learning outcomes natin. So moving on, writing authentic outcomes na ginagamit natin sa performance-based assessment or PBA. Crafting effective outcomes requires specificity and relevance real-world tasks. Ensuring students demonstrate their knowledge and skills through authentic assessment that mirrors actual applications in their future careers. Anong subject na? Yan, research, math, practical arts, English. English, siyempre, may performance din sa English. Na example, you are teaching English, then performance, they will recite, they will mga exams sa English subject, yung mga tawag dito, yung group, I forgot the name na yung group, forgot, yung bang sabay-sabay sila nag-recite ng mga example. I forgot the right word for kasi nakita sa mga English teachers, no, sa mga they're teaching English, then kung ka naman pa-exam, yung group not group recitation, but they have the term for this one. O pwede naman sa individual, example, I can recall in my high school, the subject is speech and drama. Pinapa-exam sa amin nung teacher namin. Punta kami sa stage, then we will recite. I can recall yung poem ni Liberty. Hanggang sa stage kami pinag-recite ng aming teacher. Kasi we can recite orally pag sa upuan lang, pero yung sa stage ka, di ba mag-recite, ibang level na yun. Right? O talagang pinag-drama kami nun, yung kasi speech and drama, diba? May speech, tapos may drama. Sa drama naman, we're going to create a play. I can recall the play was To Be or Not to Be by William Shakespeare. So lahat kami may part doon sa drama. I cannot recall anymore, parang driver yan ang role ko doon sa drama sa isang play, no? Isang play. Yun. So we were graded, no? Pag sa music naman, ganun din, di ba? Pinapakanta kami. Anyway. So dapat authentic. Effective alignment between performance tasks and learning outcomes. Ensure. So palagi naka-anchor. Palagi nakabangga yung ating performance task. Doon na ina-assess doon sa learning outcomes na ating ginawa para mas relevant, mas engaging sa students, and we will be having clear expectations. So, ang outcome, parang dapat ginagamit ng estudyante tapos ng teacher, the learners and educators. Pag estudyante ka, dapat mo yung finished product mo. So you should know the learning outcomes. Kasi for you, yan ang hanapin ng iyong teacher. Dapat na minamaster mo. Teacher naman, ito yung gagamitin mo na guideline kung saan mo may sure ang performance ng isang estudyante. So, both the learners and educators should be on the same page. Parehong alam kung ano may sure. Kasi both of them should know the learning outcomes ng lesson. Okay, so defining performance task. You're going to give the students the task based on learning outcomes. Kasi we should not be giving task na hindi naman sa i-measure sa ating learning outcomes. So dapat nakabangga. Pag based on learning outcomes, gagawa ng activities para ma-measure mo yung learning outcomes. Kaya nga dapat the word is aligned. Naka-aligned, naka-anchor, nakabangga. Mga task doon sa learning outcomes natin ginawa. Okay, so performance tasks are authentic assessment that enable students to showcase their skills through real-world scenarios, interviewing, creating portfolio, team building, physical activities, sports, ayan, projects, creating projects, or dance project, dance presentation, PowerPoint presentation, video recording. Example, the subject is management, then HR, human resource management ang subject. And you're going to ask the students to have a self-recorded interview. So, pwedeng sa'yo interviewee. Tapos, another one is sino naman yung interviewer. Para natin ma-measure if she can demonstrate answering a question during an interview. Or pwede naman sa interviewer. Para paranasan niya, no? She can demonstrate both skills interviewing and being the interviewee. Well, subject naman isa, no? Senior high school, may subject na entrepreneurship. Siyempre, tinuturuan sila maging innovative, mag-innovate ng products. So what are the projects? Siyempre, we will create a product, an innovative product. They can improve a product, or they can create an entirely new product. Because they can be radical innovative or yung mga pagdadagdag ng mga, kasi maraming klase innovation, di ba? Radical, talagang isang product na bago. Or mga innovation man tinatawag natin, mga nag-add ka lang ng innovation. No? Ito yung marginal innovation, nagdadagdag ka lang ng innovation. So you can create a entirely new product. If you want to test, check yung kanilang pagiging innovative or innovativeness, you will ask them to come out with an innovative product or additional innovation. Okay, so there's the performance task. No? You can give the learners, depende sa subject mo, no? Different tasks na pwedeng apply, no? Dance or teaching PE na dance sa foundation day, no? Magpa-contest ka. No? Ang ginagawa ng PE teacher ngayon, di ba? The subject is PE, pang first year college sa mga PE. Ang ginagawa iba dyan, nagpapa-contest per section. You can test the organization skills sa mga estudyante, yung kanang agility, yung kanang teamwork, you can check. Okay, so key principles, essential guidelines for effective task. Yan, no? Dapat aligned. Yung performance, yung task should be aligned sa learning outcomes or goal ng isang lesson, ng isang topic. And dapat authentic. Pag sila authentic, it should reflect real life challenges. No? Kaya pinapalabas mo sila ng campus. Kaya pag sa example, the subject research. No? So, sir, pwede ba kami mag-interview sa mga student ng school? Sabi ko, hindi. Dapat lalabas kayo para experience nyo yung real life challenges of conducting an interview sa mga respondents sa labas ng school. Kasi pag sa loob ng pasabi, may convenience eh. So dapat parang nasa lego na yung difficulty, yung mga challenges ng pag-interview sa labas campus. That's the reason why hindi ako nagpapa-respondents sa research subjects ng mga senior high school. Dapat sa labas sila magkakanto. Okay, another principle, dapat engaging students through well-designed performance tasks, encourage deeper learning, fosters critical thinking, and prepares learners to tackle complex problems. Yung nga pag nagpapa-project ako, hindi dapat masyadong marami. Mga pag-sampu kasi, that disadvantage of 10 members in a project, nagtuturuan kung sino umaasa mga classmates. Ang ginagawa ko, 3 lang sila. Pag 3 lang sila, they can't rely on many classmates. Kasi 3 sila eh. Pag yung 2 hindi gumagalaw, so, mag-isa lang siya. Pag 10 kasi, pag siya hindi gumagalaw, meron pang siyang nagagawa eh. Pero pag 3 lang sila, wala silang asahan na marami. So more engaged sila sa mga projects pag sila ay kunti lang, 3, 4. Kasi hindi sila pwedeng umasa sa marami. Otherwise, pag hindi gumalaw yung isa, pag hindi gumalaw yung 2, walang asahan. So lahat lang yung dapat igagawa. More engaging. More engaged sila doon. Projects na pinapagawa. Okay, criteria, and we are now going to create a rubric. So how are we going to create? Hindi natin simulaan tulad ng mga subjective type na mga assessment natin last time. We should not be guessing the grades of the students sa performance-based assessment. The same thing, we're going to create a rubrics. Tulad ng we created a rubrics for essay type, we should also be creating a rubrics for example, for research. Ang final requirements sa research is they have to defend. May final defense. So, meron kang rubrics, how are you going to grade yung mga students ng mga research? Example, category, meron kang example, oral presentation, ability to answer the questions. Ginagawin mo rin dyan yung PowerPoint na kanilang ginawa. Ayan. Yan ang rubrics, no? Sample lang. The rubrics should be well-defined. Creating well-defined rubrics, pinapakita ko yun sa mga students before they do the presentation. Tulad last time na pag ako nagpapa-essay, nakalagay doon sa questionnaire yung criteria kung saan sila gigradean. The rubrics should be performance levels, clearly outlining performance levels. Isang rubrics natin meron siyang category. Hindi lang isang column. Ang rubrics meron siyang column, meron siyang rows. Pag sinabi natin column, different levels yun. Example, excellent, yan, or satisfactory, or satisfactory, and the lowest is needs improvement. Yan. So, yung kanilang mga level ng kanilang performance dapat nakikita nila. Okay? And scoring guides, implementing comprehensive scoring guides enhances the assessment process. They provide transparency. So, ito mga laman ng rubrics. Nandiyan performance level. Nandiyan scoring guide. Kasi nakalip points na example. 8 to 10 points. Excellent, 8 to 10 points. Satisfactory, 6 to 7. At satisfactory, 4 to 5. Below 4, it's improvement. Nakikita nila. So, pag nakita naman yung scoring na gano'n, parang they will try to avoid pagkaroon ng grade na below 4. Oy, sabi nila, oy, kailangan natin, dapat ang grade natin 4 pataas, ha? So parang motivation sa kanila na dapat di sila bumaba dun sa lowest grade. Kasi nakikita nila yung point system, yung guide para sa kanila. So you should be discussing the same thing na ikaw ay nagpa-present sila, presentation, example, defense, dimension ko yung criteria. The same thing pag sila ay sumasali sa mga pageant. Alam nila yung criteria. Elements for success, clear instruction, providing clear instruction sa mga learners natin. They should understand the task required from them, the expectation, expected product, dapat alam nila, example, art like teaching, innovative management. They will tell them the expected product should be, the expected output from you guys should be a product that is innovative. Yung bang wala pa siya, hindi pa natin nakikita sa market. Yan. That is expected from them. Kapag research naman yan, expected from you guys, you should be coming up with a research at least 100 pages in app, bookbind. Yan. Performance level, pinakita natin kanina. You should outline yung mga target para sa kanila. So, ito naman yung mga real life performance tasks can vary across subjects. Examples include, ito may example ng mga performance. Pag mga science subject yan, experiment. Or pag may English naman, example, speech and drama subject. Persuasive speech. Impromptu. Speech. Parang will give them a topic. Napanood ko ito last time, exam. The teacher will give them a topic, then the students will create an impromptu speech. The subject kasi ay speech. Or solving a complex math problem. Pag math naman yung subject, no? Or subject naman yung history. Yan, they can create a scene in Philippine history. Ito, ginawa ng isang teacher sa BMC, no? Ang sabi ko na is history. And ang Convention Day, per group, bawat grupo ay gagawa ng isang scene sa Philippine history, tapos gagayahin nila, and those should be exhibit sa library. Example, one of the scenes na nakita ko doon, sila Lapu-Lapu. Yung The Battle of Mactan, no? Yun ang scene. So they exhibit dun sa library yung actual scene ng Battle of Mactan. Pero naman doon yung the death of the firing squad sa Bagong Bayan, Jose Rizal. No? So, yun. And yun ang kanilang final exam. Or yung while Rizal was in prison, yung last night sa Port Santiago, they depicted yung scene na gano'n in Philippine history. And what are the criteria? Example, the costume. Example, the costume. Yung scene mismo, talagang eksakto din sa actual. Okay, rubrics and scoring tools. Ito yung sample isang rubrics. Performance assessment requires clear evaluation criteria. So dapat meron kang criteria. Itong nasa rows, ito yung mga criteria. Kasi ang rubrics, this should serve as essential. Kailangan talaga ng rubrics pag hindi mga objective type ating assessment. Example, itong mga criteria. Design, knowledge, presentation, process. Itong mga levels naman, ito yung has not been expectation, 12 points lang yan. Approaches, expectation, medyo malapit ang 13 to 14. Meets expectation, din exceeds expectation, mga levels. Itong tinatawag natin mga holistic, analytical type ng rubrics. May mga criteria. Tapos may mga level of performance. Depending on the subject. Basic info about rubrics. Ayan. Ang rubrics dapat, they should guide the students, they should guide the teacher, the educator, about expectations sa mga students. It should aid, it should help the learners and the mentors, the students and the teachers. Rubrics should be consistent. Rubrics ensure consistent evaluation. So, para may akong rubrics, you're not guessing performance ng mga estudyante. So, the rubrics applies to all performance. The rubrics para sa scoring guide. Tulad na kanina may scoring guide, no? Example dito. Scoring guide. Pag hindi na-meet expectation, 5 points lang. Pag medyo malapit sa expectation, 13 to 14 points. Pag na-meet expectation, 15 to 18. Pag nilampas sa expectation, 19 to 20. Ang rubrics, 5-point system. That's your scoring guide. Rubrics will be transparent. Pinapaalam natin ang mga estudyante natin before the start. Pinabasa natin yan. Before the start of presentation, before the start of performance, task. We read the criteria. Para lang nila yung mag-grading sa kanila. So, ang mga research subject, before they start the defense ng research, nilalatag natin yung criteria. I show them the grading sheet. Example, ability to answer questions, organization of the data, yung practical application ng research, the manner of presenting, the PowerPoint na ginamit, the visual aids na ginamit, yun ang criteria that I am rolling out sa mga nagde-defense sa research, practical research. Kailangan may transparency. So this one, the two types of rubrics. Ito lumalabas sa board exam. Holistic and analytic rubrics. Ginagamit natin. So I'm showing here the samples. Pag analytic rubrics, ideal for detailed evaluation. If you want a detailed evaluation, analytic rubric ginagamit. It will allow us educators to check, to assess about criteria. This approach provides specific feedback. So pag may nagtanong sa estudyante, this can be a feedback for them. Sir, bakit itong grade ko? Itong grade mo kasi sa neatness, medyo mababang neatness ng iyong ginawa kasi may point report is not neat, not organized, or not easy to understand. Or pag sa reasoning naman, sir, ba't mababa ang grade? Bakit 1 lang ang grade? Kasi nga bumaba ka sa reasoning. Example, magaling ka sa explanation, magaling ka sa effort, may effort, very neat, accurate ang iyong ginawa. Pero pagdating sa reasoning kasi, binigyan ka ng 1, sa reasoning ka bumaba. Bakit po? Kasi yung reasoning mo did not research the problem and came up with a poor plan to solve the problem. Kaya walang binigay sa'yo. So itong analytical rubrics, you can give them the feedback. Kasi nandiyan ang feedback. Analytical siya. You want a detailed evaluation sa analytical rubrics. The opposite, the holistic. Focus on overall performance, not the criteria. Combining multiple criteria into one score. This one is beneficial if you want quick assessment, mabilisan, provide a general impression of student work. So you will notice here, walang mga criteria. Instead, we have excellent, proficient, satisfactory, and beginners. Overall, no? So walang criteria. Basta pag sila ay beginner ng ating assessment sa kanila, ito yung nangyari. Pero mga phrases dito, no? Bakit siya naging beginner? So overall kaagad, no? Ating ginawa pag sinabi natin holistic rubrics. Okay, so let's go to more on rubrics. Creating effective rubrics involves identifying the learning objectives. Yan. So, naka-anchor pa rin ating rubrics sa mga learning objectives natin, mga learning outcomes. So, may criteria naka-anchor sa learning outcomes. So that is very clear na nakalagay sa rubrics expectations sa mga students natin, how to enhance student understanding of assessments. Scoring tools. Ito pwede natin gamitin checklist, rating scales, and anchor paper. So pag nag-check ng performance example, say PE, isang group nagpe-present ng kanilang group dance, street dance. O pwede isang checklist. Isang you have 10 checklist. Kaya mo lang doon, ito pa nasunod o check. So pag pinakamaraming check, mas mataas ang grade. No? Pag check naman ng isa o dalawa lang, siyempre mababa ang grade. Checklist provide a straightforward method for assessing student work, ensuring that all criteria ay pag na-covered or na-meet lahat ng criteria, so mataas ang grade. Right? Or you may also use the rating scale, the Likert rating scale on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pag sinabing 5, excellent. 4, satisfactory. Moderate, poor, or needs improvement. 5, 4 was the lowest one. Pag sinabing 1, that is very poor or needs improvement. Or pwede ma-anchor paper. No? Ito yung pwede mong gamitin sa mga sample, research, you are doing feasibility study. No? Meron kang anchor paper, meron kang pinaka-guide na sample ng isang research or sample ng isang feasibility study. And the anchor paper should be yung perfect or ideal paper na anchor paper. Kasi ito pinag-guide mo doon mo sila i-check, di ba? Feasibility study, example. Pero anchor paper is complete. All parts of the feasibility study nandun doon. All parts of the research nandun sa anchor paper. Pag nag-check ka, i-check side by side. Ito, kulang. Yan. Kulang siya ng title. Based sa anchor paper, based sa guide mo, kulang siya. So you can check. Yan, ginagamit pang of course, if assessment is, the project is case analysis, feasibility study, or paper, or research. Meron sample. Strategies for effective implementation. ito mga how are you going to implement? Number 1, align assessment, di ba? You should ensure that performance-based assessments are directly aligned sa mga learning outcomes or learning competencies and standard for parents. No? And develop a criteria, clear, measurable criteria sa mga rubrics. And also rubrics to guide both the educator and the students. And both of them should understand yung criteria or the expectation. You should be on the same page. And you should also, kasi you cannot make sure the outcome kung meron sila kung yung task mo ay hindi naka-align. Example, di ba? Ang outcome, they should know how to write a paragraph. Tapos ang task mo, pinag-recite mo sila ng poem. So, hindi na-align, di ba? Or ang criteria, they should know how to conduct an interview. Tapos ang task, nagsulat mo sila. So, hindi align. Yung task doon sa outcomes. Important, you should not forget the feedback. Post ongoing formative feedback mechanism to support the learners. Kaya, continuous improvement ng mga learners natin. We should not stop. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na consultation time. Mga estudyante natin after assessment, consultation, or feedback mechanism para sa kanila. Challenges. I know I have mentioned this earlier, na mga challenges sa PBA, time management, effectively manage time and resource. Kasi ang challenge dito yung time mo, the resource to be used, yung time pag-evaluate. Student engagement, foster self-assessment to encourage reflection and ownership of learning. So, aside from, kasi nasabi ko pag ako yung nagpapagawa ng research sa kanila, research should not only be a subject. Ito hindi na natin ginagawa para may pasa isang subject. Research are being done because we cannot avoid research. Pag mga businessman na kayo later on after graduation, you cannot avoid research. So, research are being done not only as a subject, not only to as a subject, but you should acquire the skills ng isang researcher. So, kaya kapag group, kaya ginagawa, 3 lang sila, no? Kasi pag marami yan, aasa lang iba sa mga classmates, eh. So, important sa akin, isang member, hindi umaasa sa leader. All of them should know how to conduct a research. So, of course, they can divide the parts ng research, but all of them should know how to do all parts of the research. Kaya hindi ako nag-assign ng leader. Lahat kayo leader. Lahat kayo ay may shared leadership. Para hindi umasa. At the end of the day, importance is all of you, pag-alis ng school, pag-graduate nyo, you know how to conduct a research independently and individually. They should be engaged. I know that is the last slide for today. So, thank you for watching and subscribing sa aking YouTube channel. Magandang araw sa lahat. This is Dr. Cortez signing off. Bye everyone.